match. One guy in chat though did in fact say, well, they're in the in the EU, right? They're playing on the EU servers. Aren't they going to have bad ping? Well, at certain points they will. Especially we watched Fixstar and Tinny in the past, right?
Yep.
They're over
Jorberry and
right?
Gappo as well.
Jorberry's Gap. So, but it goes both ways. They'll play on the EU servers, but they also have to play on the NA servers too. But with that being said, we're hopping into at least a matchup right now. Aydan and Theifs going against XXiF and FunFPS to qualify our 2 winners. And I was excited to see this one as well. Solid start for Theifs, sitting at a total of 3 eliminations, 1 knock just in front of them, and more to come.
And continuous landing spots at Pleasant Park. By no means is this a strategy that we've been seeing constantly in our Sunday showdowns. It's kind of a decent mixture, but Pleasant Park has actually kind of popped up over the last, maybe week 3 to now. We've actually been seeing quite a few drops at this particular place. I'm not sure if a particular change has been made or whether or not it's just been a place to go to for right now. Like we said, there are quite a bit of looting locations, quite a bit of looting spots to find, as it looks like the Cowgirl will drop inside of the random cave that happens to sit below one of the many houses inside of Pleasant, but that's only going to now be the 4th for Aydan off the break, as quickly that number in the top right begins to fall, 54 players alive.
Yeah, it's definitely been a quick lobby so far, and mainly because Aydan and Theifs have been tearing it up. I'm curious about the landing spot just outside of Floating Island for the opposite team. Of course, they land over at the buildings, the factories, which is relatively slow. Of course, they can maybe get kit up. It's a little bit more controlled as they push onto Floating Island, which we didn't see them doing as of yet. But with that being said, they're all still up. But like I said, Pleasant, interesting place. It's been working out all game, or at least all these matches that we've been seeing. So why stop it? They're already going in on more eliminations. Aydan, he's going to spot a player. Theifs, he's going to be raining down some shots as well, grenades. If this player gets out of here, at least alive, I'm going to be extremely impressed.
Yeah. Very big props to this random player if he can stay up, but unfortunately 100 HP taken down with that grenade to open up the setup, as Theifs will be there for the final elimination. Fantastic job from these two, as Pleasant Park is now going to be theirs. 1 player toward the canopy, 90 HP taken down, and it looks like that's not about to be more as the 360 comes through, but to no avail. Does take quite a bit of damage. Style points, I guess you could argue, were worth it, but in the end, thankfully, he has that med kit to rely on, as he'll be back up to 100 as Aydan and Theifs look to progress. But keep in mind that yellow and purple triangle on the minimap are kind of getting a little bit close to their position. They're surveying around here when it comes down to the Floating Island.
You know, I'm really curious where they're going to be going. Fun, though, the stream perspective that we have from him, he's just trying to see if there's anybody going to be home. And he does have 3 eliminations. I'm curious as to his partner. So they're definitely keeping toe-to-toe between Aydan and Theifs. Looks like they will, in fact, be going over to Tilted now. I know this is one of the areas you say, man, you know, you don't know how that's going to work out, but he's going to juke me out. He's going back. So wherever he decides to go, I'm very curious. Maybe he's trying to see where Aydan and Theifs are going to be, because I think they just porter rifted, or at least used a rift over by Burgerhead.
But when you're facing off against a team like Aydan and Theifs, it's almost like, how aggressive should we be? And you really should take that highly into consideration. And a lot of the times you're not playing fast enough when you're facing off against this squad, or against that duo, rather. So I feel like a tilted drop for this team honestly isn't the worst of ideas, but it is a very risky play. High risk, high reward. Yep. Can they get back in this game or not? It looks like maybe a quick little call as a last-second change-up here for FunFPS, as he's going to go ahead and have half that challenge done. Getting higher up in that battle pass as he'll siphon through the axe in his back pocket as they'll venture on to the towers.
And if you guys don't know how the format works, both teams are going to spawn in on the same squad, and they go through the map trying to get as many eliminations as they possibly can. The most eliminations for the team, whoever has the most eliminations, at least by game number 2, is the victor, and they move on in the tournament. And this is currently game number 1. And Fun is dinging some shots. And, you know, that thermal is so incredibly accurate. And not only that, not only can you ding shots and maybe take away some opponents' lives, but you can also see the area and peer out there and give some nice call-outs. Very versatile weapon. And there it is. Some eliminations are, in fact, going to go down. And I do believe that was Theifs, who finds, I think, at least 2 eliminations himself. So that's not good math. Whenever you're picking up 1 while your opponents are picking up 2, you're always going to find yourself at a disadvantage.
And that was what we were talking about, right, for FunFPS and his teammate, right? Like, what were they going to do? Are they going to make their way toward Tilted Towers? You saw them be a little bit too passive, and that's going to bite them in the end. That should have been their squad. That should have been their 3 to 4 eliminations that go their way. It shouldn't have even been a potential for Aydan and Theifs to get to this point. As like I said, now they're going to have a decent advantage when it comes down to the lead, and they're taking away elims that the other team should have had. And like I said, with momentum and with that mobility that they have at their side as well, they're going to try to cut off this opposite team and like I said, try to steal the elims away from the opponents. And this is a great play from them. They realized a gap pretty much, and they're going to expose it.
Yeah, definitely so, and that's what it's all about, exposing your teammates and finding out where they're going to be heading to. It's all about covering as much ground as you possibly can get, as they're going to be going over towards the floating islands. Use that mobility wisely. So you notice Fun, XXiF, they're going to be going towards it as well. But Theifs using that grappler to his advantage to kind of get that ground covered a little bit faster. Look at the loot over to the left. So much of it, but I think he's kitted up at least relatively nicely at this point. But he might take a peek and see what he can shop for. Just be chilling out here. Hearing some call-outs. They're just trying to just spot anybody. Where are the people at? The circle is still relatively big, and the gameplay is slow, but one thing is for certain, as it's going to close down, it'll heat up.
See Theifs pretty much take a quick little sigh, a breath, and decides to go ahead and go forward. I believe I see at least one player directly toward the southeast, along with toward his regular east, toward Dusty, as it looks like it is going to be Theifs. Toward the breaking point, has the opportunity to spot someone first. By the way, Taylor, I noticed that Theifs' song for subscribers, Riding Solo. You were playing that at the beginning of the broadcast.
Was it? I was trying to figure out what it was. Was it Riding Solo?
It was, in fact.
I love that song.
We were talking about how old of a song that was. About 8 years old now.
And I said that came out my senior year of high school, and you laughed. You didn't say anything, but you laughed.
I did.
And I felt quite offended. I can't lie. I was like, really? Why are you laughing? But as Goalie laughs too, the producer.
Boy.
You know, everybody likes to make fun of my age. That's okay. But age brings wisdom. Age brings wisdom, and I have a lot of it. I just don't show it.
Okay.
Big oof.
It looks like rockets are going to be found for Theifs, along with the extra progression. And speaking of mobility, it looks like the ice is going to be on the feet of Fun, as he's definitely having it right now, easily getting through Dusty Divot, as it's really just a matter of a few blocks in his eyes. But like I said, now it's a race, right? Trying to find where these players could be at. It's about intuition, all those hours that you've put into Fortnite. How or where the players are going to stack up against all comes down to player knowledge. But it looks like XX is going to find a few players off the start, and it looks like Fun providing some support with those dual pistols, as that, I believe, is going to be 3 knocks for XXiF by himself. And here's about to be the 4th, as that should be a full squad wipe in just a moment. The last player alive is pretty good, but
what a shot.
Not good enough. The heavy shotgun will rain resources from above, as the Ginger Man gets even more excited at the fact that they are even closer to this lead, trying to get it back.
I was looking at XXiF's his health was just going down and down and down, but luckily they made it out of there, and they get a lot of loot with those eliminations. I was looking at Aydan and Theifs. They were sitting at 12, at least the last time that I checked in on them. That's a solid, at least a solid score overall, but hey, got Fun. XXiF, they're keeping up with them toe-to-toe. Looking very solid, and they're going to try and cut off some ground as well. They're within the circle. They're not playing that gatekeeper role. Aydan and Theifs, they're going to be pushing in. They're going over to Salty. We're going to be in relatively the same spots on both sides.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see where they're going to decide to go from that point forward. Do they stick together? Maybe they go on their own little way.
Just crash through everything.
And I think that's the best option. Maybe you'll find a player in there and get an elimination.
Oh, there's another quad crasher.
Yeah, we got 2 of them, baby.
This is going to be fun. This is like a derby going on right now. We're going to see all the houses destroyed. Oh, Aydan
I just want to see him hit someone and just him fly in the air.
That's
That's always the best thing.
That is. I want to see them actually try to collide with each other. That'd be great. I would love that.
And then they both die. What
Well,
would be?
I just think it'd be fun. I don't know. Maybe not hit each other, but just kind of high five as they cross paths. That'd be great. I love it.
Little jousting action.
Exactly.
You know, with the shotguns. Hey, maybe we saw it with the ATKs.
What would win, an ATK or a quad crasher?
Oh, quad crasher
Definitely,
for sure.
yeah.
Come on, it's got the
It destroys
it's got the
everything.
speed. It destroys. And
Can you honk with a quad crasher though?
You know what? That is the question, the age-old question we've been trying to figure out for years. Confucius once asked that question too.
By the way, Theifs just like pretty much waved to Fun as he crossed by. Fun tried to hop on the back of it, but just unfortunately could not do it. I just love that element of the game, just the ability to like say hi to your teammates because they typically you guys are on the same squad, but not when it comes down to the match. But it looks like far shots being exchanged from Theifs as he's going to have an idea as to where one player is. And unfortunately for FunFPS, he can only sit at bay and pretty much watch Theifs have an early advantage at finding players, but it looks like as well, speaking of fights, Aydan as well being involved with a few as well, as he's going to have XXiF just behind him. Yeah,
he definitely is, as he's going to be pushing down, and that looks like it might be another elimination. No, it's going to just be a knock, so that's 2 knocks at this point, maybe 1 or 2 more players still around the area. But XXiF, he's going to be answering back himself, and that's going to be 3 now for Aydan. XXiF, he's going to get an elimination. But one thing about having at least 2 mobilities, at least for Theifs and Aydan, they're going to be able to cover more ground. So even if they're going toe-to-toe, at least the boys of Fun and XXiF, they're not going to have the mobility. And Aydan, he's going to go ahead and dip out. A shot just whizzed by his head. Theifs, he's going to get some eliminations too. But, you know, I'm curious how it's going to work out towards the end. The circle is collapsing down. Only 10 players remain. That's a very little eliminations. But one thing is for certain, game number 2, I'm very curious how it's going to turn out because both squads are very even in score.
And when it comes down to it, it looks as if all 4 of our players could be joining up here very shortly. Quad Crasher will progress in from the storm as Theifs just go ahead and decides to set up shop. Realizing one player in front of him dinks a few of that HP off. And there's actually going to be another player up here as well.
Yeah, that was FPS actually who picked up the knock as the shockwave grenade coming into use. Unfortunately, only got 7 damage off the shotgun, but he'll have to keep pushing forward. He's going to bring down some of the builds. And I thought that that quad...
Imagine if he hopped back on the quad crasher
and just goes in and just rides up one of the ramps and runs someone over. I'm picking up what you're throwing down. I wanted to see it myself, Landon.
It would have been great to witness, but it looks like the shots from the backside of Fun. And it looks like the builds could come down, but a sniper shot to the chest of Theifs as he'll have to reference back and try to take as much of the meds as possible because he is not in a spot to challenge.
Not at all. When you're looking at 13 total health or 25 shield, got to worry about that fall damage and just worry about another shot. I believe that was a heavy shot that kind of came in. That's really the only thing that would warrant so much damage being off. But one thing is for certain, this team up ahead is giving a pretty good fight. Theifs, though, with the distance that he has, he's not looking too bad, especially now with FPS, right? He's still in the same fight. We're going on to his POV. He's building up. There's a lot riding on the line with this. If he doesn't get this, he could fall down and mainly take a lot of damage. But with that being said, picks up 1 elimination, goes for the second one. This player forcing to build up. But Aydan, he's going to slide in, and he's going to get an elimination to answer back. And you know what says, you're not getting all these kills. I got to come through and help my buddy Theifs.
I will say, despite that play from Fun, like, he played very well in that situation. Theifs had a great opportunity to take down 2, if not 3 players. Fun walks away with 2 of those, and it was kind of an awkward spot for Theifs because at the one time he begins the challenge, the sniper shot ends up ruining his chances. So big play coming through from Aydan will save in that particular scenario, but Fun as well. Phenomenal play coming through from him, as it looks like he might spot someone inside of Dusty.
Look at Aydan.
Those walls get redone, but Aydan soaring through the trees. That quad crasher pretty much living up to its name.
That's insane. Aydan finding new angles apparently, as I never knew you could build on or at least jump on top of the trees, and you just keep going forward. Hey, listen, if you got some traction, keep it going, right? So it's going to be a mad dash for the last remaining eliminations, and you're seeing a lot of builds pushing forward, and that was a nice shotgun elimination for the man of FunFPS, as they are not slowing down. But not a bad game from both sides, and I'm curious how the second game is going to work out, as they're going to go in relatively even. A total of 3 people still remain, and 3 poor souls. 3 poor souls landed.
I will say, Fun and XXiF have been doing a fantastic job at pretty much going toe-to-toe with Theifs and Aydan and not letting up. Many times when teams are facing off against this duo, it's a matter of, you don't really want to get too close to them because of their power when it comes down to eliminations. Their slaying capabilities are almost unmatchable at certain points, but they have not backed down by any means. They have gone, like I said, toe-to-toe, and even at certain moments taken more kills from them that are giving them a huge advantage when it comes down to this match. But it looks like Aydan, despite building over a few players, takes a few shots in the process and should be good to probably at least get one. I believe there's going to be 2 here, but have to be very careful about that. Firing through with the SMG and should be able to find it, and just like that, the Snorkel Ops is down.
So 12.
And Aydan will be able to secure the final kill.
So I know there was 19 for the boys of FunFPS and XXiF. So 19, and then of course for Aydan, he was sitting at 11 himself. I think it was like 10 or so for Theifs. So with that being said, I do believe Aydan and Theifs will go into round number 2 with a minor lead.
Yeah.
But that's what? That's almost a 40 elimination game. That's insane.
Actually, 4 players.
It's more than 40. Yeah, it'd be more than 40. So that's crazy. Yeah, with 4 players, wiping at least almost 50% of the lobby. That's crazy. 20 to 19. Wow. 20 to 19, and Aydan and Theifs are leading the way. 20 to 19, 1 elimination. What is going on with these games tonight, Landon?
I don't know, man.
They've been so close.
I got to say, we got to give massive props, right, to XXiF and FunFPS. We constantly target. After week number 1, when we saw Prism and Fighter take the championship, it was a matter of, okay, these qualifier teams aren't anyone to laugh at. And over time, they've consistently shown how incredible that they really are. Like I said, we see here from XXiF and FunFPS, they're another qualifier team. They actually won qualifier number 2 to get here. And like I said, man, you know how much money it costed them to get in this tournament?
Free.
$0.
Free 99, baby.
$0. If you guys are interested and want to be one of these qualifier teams, if you have what it takes, it's time to put your skills to the test, right? Put !qualifier or !qualify in the chat right now. You'll be greeted with a few links which will show you the 4 different opportunities that you have to be in these tournaments. We invite 4 different qualifier teams after every week, the winner and the runner-up from both of our tournaments, and we invite them to play in this $10,000 tournament. And like you said, Taylor, costs $0 to get involved. So do it. If you're good enough, get involved and be in these tournaments. Because you could be facing off against Aydan Theifs and being down by 1 elimination heading into game number 2. I'm going to stop talking and let you talk, Taylor.
And hey, listen here. They're already guaranteed $1,000 at this point, and they've only been through 2 games. That's all it takes to get $1,000. I say that's all it takes very loosely because you have to get through some tough competition.
It took down 150 teams to get here. They've taken down 3 very tough squads right now.
Hey, look, there's a lot riding on the line with this matchup. But, hey, where are we at? We're at Paradise Palms. Now, I know we talked about this earlier where Aydan was sliding in my DM saying, I'm going Paradise Palms. That didn't happen. False story. False news. But that's okay. He is still going to be here at Paradise Palms, so maybe there's some truth to it. With that being said, 1 knock is going to go down. And where are the other boys? Actually,
they're also here, too.
They're just now flying in. Talk about a late landing.
Oh, who is that? Who's that yellow arrow? It's that is XXiF. Yep. So I believe he maybe finds shields and then joins the party. Not exactly sure, but Paradise Palms, right? It is a vacation spot, and why not join alongside your friends whenever you can be here? But it looks like the cowgirl decides to go ahead and fall along with her squad mates, as that's going to be at least a few found already for our dominant quad. As what a landing spot they find. And like we said, man, Paradise Palms, it's a great spot to go to from time to time. You can definitely find quite a bit of players and quite a few of those looting spots.
Yeah, definitely so. A lot of loot to be had there. I know there's a couple of vending machines. Normally you'll find a legendary vending machine, at least by pull. Right there you go, right to the right of our man that we're watching here. So with that being said, there's a lot of potential here, but there's also a lot of angles you have to watch out for. This guy is not going to be slowing down. Dinging some shots straight ahead. And of course, they're all going to be bunched up together, vying for these eliminations. Every elimination is going to matter. They came in 20 to 19. Aydan and Theifs with just a narrow lead. Mind you, in the last game that we just saw them play against the Optic boys, they won by 1 elimination too. So when we talk about close games, this is really, they're feeling at home, Landon.
They are. And they should, right? In Hotel 23, you got to feel pretty nice. As it looks like for fun, he's going to go ahead and say no to the trap as he'll enter in toward, what is that, the desk?
Little check-in area.
Yeah, a little check-in desk.
What they're checking out.
Says, I want a room with a view. Because that's what I would want in Paradise Palms. Despite having multiple killings going around the map, I feel like the hotel would be a nice place to land.
It's like the Purge.
It kind of is.
You just kind of want to watch it from the safety
of
the
your kids,
23.
Hide your wife.
Oh, we're bringing that back.
Hide everybody.
Man,
because it's going crazy out here.
You want to talk about me being old? I was in like senior in high school when that happened.
That wasn't like 1970. All right.
I got to.
YouTube came out in like 2005. All right.
Got a pin in my hand. I'm not afraid to use it.
Let's be real.
Let's be real. 6 eliminations on the left. 3 on the right for FunFPS. XXiF has a couple himself. I know I was paying attention to the scoreboard and they had it. And Theifs and Aydan, they're going to be building up. They're like, we've had enough of this area. We checked out, and we're going to explore the rest of the map. There's going to be a little rift right behind them. They're going to just, skip over it just a little bit. Maybe scan the horizons over there. Why do you need a rift, though, when you got a Theifs? Look at them just dinging shots straight ahead with a suppressed AR, and now they're going to go have some fun. Aydan's going to be the first one to be over there, and Theifs is going to be following behind. Let's see who they can find.
Yeah, it looks like they might spot someone just off in Westworld. Whether or not they want to engage is the question to be asking, but why should I even ask the question? It's already going to be answered. Theifs wants to find the eliminations. He's desperately trying to find a vantage point at which time would be viable, as it looks like there are going to be 2 different players fighting off against one another, maybe even just separating the loot, but he decides to go ahead and take the hill, and it should be his. 28 damage, 28 done off shields and regular health as well. Tosses out the stink bombs to do a little bit extra, and that could be a knock if that player's not careful.
Yeah, definitely got to be careful at this point, but I love his positioning. He's got the high ground. No reason for him to peer out anywhere, but he could waste a lot of time here, especially. You notice he calls out. He's going all in. He has to. The storm is going to be closing in relatively soon. He's on the outskirts of it. He knows Aydan, he's going to be covering ground just above. At this point, if they go down, it's going to hurt, but it's not going to be too bad. It's worth the risk. There's going to be a knock, and another one is going to go right into his possessions. That's 2, showing the risk versus the reward. The reward is going to be heavy in this situation, and he's going to have 3 eliminations.
Theifs literally swapped weapons like 5 different times, and it's like, all right, what weapon do you want to die with? Pick which one. It's like step right up. Opens up his little suit coat and decides to ask you which one. But my goodness, Theifs, just very, very talented player. And like I said, finds those kills when it comes down to Westworld. But despite that, though, regarding the zone, he is very, very far off. A rift would be incredibly nice to try and find. I'd imagine, based on where he's going,
there should be some down there.
He probably has one lined up, a particular one in mind, because Aydan is not far off either. Or at least I thought there was a red arrow there. Yeah, okay, there it is. But, yeah, he's going to find a few rifts here by, I don't know what this exact call it would be. Lower river?
Yeah, just on the outside, yeah. Usually have a couple of rifts over here. Of course, that's going to be hugely beneficial to kind of get some distance. Aydan, though, he's going to get an elimination himself. That's 9, but he's going to get tagged up a little bit.
He's by himself as well.
And he is by himself, so he's got to watch out as he is going to go down, and that is going to be rest in peace to Aydan. Now, Theifs, he's going to be last up. Notice, though, XXiF, he got tagged up himself. He's only going to be at about, 15 health himself. If he goes down, that's going to be a big wake-up call. It's going to be a 1v1. We'll see what's going to have to happen here. It's now getting a little bit testy. Coming in, they only had a 1 elimination lead.
They did. And just like that, XXiF is also down on the quad crasher. Can Fun get there or not? The gingerbread is sitting firmly in the driver's seat, and we'll see whether or not they can try to take the driver's seat away from Theifs and Aydan. Like we mentioned, Theifs, though, only player alive right now. 1v2 throughout the rest of this game. That is not going to be an easy venture by any means. And, Taylor, all I have to ask you is whether or not you think the gingerbread has gumdrop buttons.
Oh, my gosh. What is this, Landon? What are you doing? What are you doing? I got a question for you later, actually. I forgot to ask you. But if he has gumdrop buttons, man, I guess he's going to use them. They're down total 3 eliminations. So, hey, man, he's got to be picking it up. XXiF is, in fact, going to be finally eliminated. It is currently a 1v1 situation. Theifs and FunFPS for all the marbles. Who's moving on to the grand finals? It comes down to this, 29-26.
Okay.
A lot riding on the line.
This is doable.
It's very doable on both ends. There's still 28 engagements remaining. That's a lot to work with.
Yeah, and like I said, just as we start to mention, right, XXiF is down for the count. Like you mentioned, 1v1 as the game moves forward, and 28 players alive. We'll see whether or not Fun can try to close out this 3 elim deficit. And I got to say, I want to ask you, in your opinion, Taylor, the position that Theifs is in, he has a 3 elim advantage. Do you stick alongside Fun to try to steal away his elims, or
absolutely,
or do you try to separate yourselves and try to bank on the fact that you have maybe better game knowledge?
You know, they may be on separate teams, but there's powers and numbers, and whenever you're facing off against full squads, if they can make it up this hill, they'd be looking pretty good. You see the frustration as this weapon side to side. No, definitely, you already have the elite at least by 3 eliminations. You need to stick with your opponent, monitor and manage the eliminations that he gets. You do that, you'll be looking okay.
Now, allow me to play devil's advocate in this situation because I will account and say this. There was a moment toward the end of game number 1 where we saw Theifs and Fun basically on the exact same side of the map around Dusty, and there were a lot of moments where FunFPS was actually stealing Theifs' elims. So I will say, granted, while it maybe is the better situation to stick alongside of him, his elims are your elims, there was a spot prior in this game to where it was Fun who was actually winning out in those fights.
You know, and that's just really the name of the game. Who's going to take it, right? I mean, overall, it's been a close matchup so far. Some distance between the two are starting to develop. We notice a gingerbread man of Fun. He's going to be going to the left. It's going to be quite a few builds in front of him. And, in fact, I do see some opponents. So a lot is riding on the line if he's going to be able to get this. You notice some shots are going to be fired. He knocks some shield off. Theifs, he's going to be joining in on the action as well. Just to the right of him, RPGs going forward. And let's see what they can manage to make happen. He's going to take a Shadow Stone, going very bold. He's looking at already phasing out, and there it is. He's going to be on top of this Portafort, raining down shots on the opponents below. Mr. Noodles is, in fact, going to be going down. Mr. Noodles.
I'm sorry.
I love it. I love it. And there it is. It looks like Theifs is, in fact, going to get a knock. There was 2 knocks in the hands of Fun. There's some splodes coming in. They got to be careful, Landon.
They absolutely have to. It looks like one player decides to take the launch pad, but it's going to be a nice shot coming through from Fun, and there could be a double kill in his horizons as well. Player just below the builds. Where did he go? Is he invisible now? Did he take a Shadow Stone? All the questions that are probably going through Fun's mind, and he could be just below this launch pad. Decides to take it and trying to ride the wave as it looks like another elim comes through from Theifs, a big one at that, as he's desperately trying to hold on to the advantage that Aydan and co. have given him.
Yeah, definitely so. He's going to push out and try and see what else really is out there for him. A lot of potential for them to make this comeback possible. Now, he doesn't have any bullets, though. 67 total AR bullets. He only has 12 shotgun shots. No SMG. He has no RPGs either at this point. So he's in a very weird, awkward situation where he's kind of got to fight up close. But he is going to go ahead and go full send on these 2 players right up ahead. Nice shot with the shotgun, but is it going to be enough? He's going to get tagged up 24. Dodges an RPG. He's building. He's got the player trapped just down below.
Here comes the zone.
But the zone is there. You hear the frustration. He knows he's trapped. He's got to go in. Theifs coming in. He's going to get 2 knocks plus 2 eliminations.
Wrap your wrist,
and he's
son.
wrapping it in. And I don't know if this is going to be enough time. He's going to go ahead and go out.
Oh my gosh. He's got to land all 3 of these. This is an amazing combo.
Can't get it.
He has the bounce pad. He has the bounce pad. He has to rock it now.
Why didn't he use it?
Oh my God. Theifs could be out of this game. 8 seconds left. He's looking for loot. He's looking for anything he could possibly find. But unfortunately, he is going to drop. And FunFPS will also.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Look at that.
Like true lovers would. Stare at each other in the eyes as they both die.
Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, my goodness.
Man, that's crazy.
I thought that one of them could have survived. I thought FunFPS had it. He had the grappler. He had, I think, what, a bounce pad that maybe.